I was speaking with a young man the other evening about marriages, and I said the number one principle or kind of foundational philosophy that I build my marriage on is that I am not emotionally dependent upon my wife. I think that that is one of the most healthy, normal places for a man to be, but is almost completely lost in our society today. In fact, when it comes up in conversation sometimes with people, I've said, no, my wife is not my best friend. Now, my wife is my closest person, the person that I love the most, the person that I want to be with the most, my favorite person. But she's not my best friend. In fact, I find this definition very strange for people to take because when you look at the dynamics of a friendship, the dynamics of a friendship is that I bring my emotional burden to my friend and they help me navigate through that burden, through those difficulties and those trials by helping me find a solution, by assuaging my feelings, sometimes by giving me an attaboy, a pat on the back, bolstering up my self-confidence and whatnot. But it's very much a relationship where I am burdening the other person in a mutual relationship where they're going to burden me with the same. But that's not the nature of marriage, is it? When we look at family dynamics, and I think this is where it all starts to make sense, for a man growing up, he is supposed to develop this type of friendship or even mentorship with his own father. He is supposed to open up all of his fears, his insecurities, his dreams, his aspirations, everything to his father. His father is supposed to be the emotional rock of the family upon which he can lay out all of his burden and his father can bear it for him. And then the father can give direction and insight and affirmation. Now, likewise, in the family dynamics, a young man has a mother. And what does the mother do? Well, the mother doesn't really help you solve problems as much as she kind of gives you the sense that you are loved unconditionally. Mothers love to be needed. They love to love their children. It gives them a sense of purpose and meaning, right? But if we flip it and we look at family dynamics from a woman's perspective, what is the relationship with the father? The relationship of the father is one where he gives affirmation, assurance, praise, love, encouragement, attention. And the daughter in return has this sort of, you could say, love, affection, commitment to her father, where he's not just a father, he's really daddy. He is someone so special to her. He's her first love. And obviously this is in a normal, natural, healthy relationship, right? Likewise, a daughter has a mother, and the mother is who she's supposed to grow into. And in an ideal relationship, the mother is the confidant, is the one who encourages and nourishes and directs and affirms and models for the daughter who she's going to be. And so for the husband or for the man, he grows up with a certain dynamic with his father and mother. And for the woman, she grows up with a certain dynamic for her father and her mother. But in today's culture, if you're anything like me, most of us men didn't really have father figures. And we certainly didn't have strong ones if we even had a father around. In fact, so many of us have been absolutely devastated by divorce, by absentee fathers, by fathers who were not emotionally engaged, fathers who didn't participate in our life in any meaningful or significant way, and certainly not the dynamic of the strong, emotionally stable man. In fact, so much of what's presented today in society is being a man is about being emotionally unstable. In fact, when you look at commentators, newscasters, internet personalities, so much of their personality or their presentation is driven by the sense of ire and frustration and anger with the way that the world is. How much of political commentary is based on somebody being upset about what somebody else is doing? I was thinking about this, and this is probably the least manly trait I can think of, that your emotional state is so fragile that it's dependent upon what other people are doing. That other people's bad decisions, political or otherwise, have such a captivating hold on you that you literally are emotionally defined by what they're doing. And so we see in the midst of this that we have emotionally unstable men. They get into relationships with women, and then they begin to treat their wife as though she is the mother figure. And it's crazy because we see this even in studies where women are polled and they're asked, what is the most difficult aspect of your life? And routinely they say it's the husband. It's not the children. It's the husband. Why? Because the husband is going for emotional affirmation, emotional unburdening to his wife. He's treating his wife like she's the mommy, like she's the one who's supposed to patch him up and pat him on the butt and say, you're a good boy and all these other things. That's not what women want. Why? Well, because if a woman has a healthy relationship with her father when she's a child, can you imagine a dad coming home from work and the daughter saying, how was your day? And he said, oh, well, this person did this at work and this person did this and this is what's going on in politics and blah, 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 blah. And he was complaining and unburdening and just putting all of his frustration, difficulties, and trials onto his child. It wouldn't make any sense. And so likewise, women have this idealized notion in their mind that men are there to better their life. And you know what? That's true. That's our role as men. Our role as men are to make women's lives better. We're there to give them security, to give them protection, to give them a safe environment where they can have their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts, and we are the emotionally grounded one in the relationship. So what does this mean for men? Well, if you're anything like me and you didn't have a father figure, the number one thing that I can say is you don't have to find a father figure. What you have to find is other men who are able to bear your emotional burdens with you and help navigate life so that you're in a calm and peaceful place, a more stable place. Who is number one? Your spiritual father, your priest, your local Orthodox priest. He's the one that you go to and unburden yourself with. You don't take these things to your wife. You don't unburden yourself on her. You show yourself to be the stability of the family where everyone can put their burdens on you. It's the difference between the pyramid, right, where somebody is at the top, and the inverted pyramid where you as the husband are at the bottom and you bear the burden of the people around you. You are there to serve, not to be served. Does this mean that you don't have thoughts, feelings, emotions, fears, insecurities? No, you have all those things because if you're anything like me, you're a human being and you struggle with them. No, this is not what it means that you don't have them or that you're so masculine that you've overcome them or something like this, which is total fantasy. No, it's rather that you find other men to rely on to bear that burden and to walk with you. And you don't do those things with your wife. Now, do you fill your wife in on how you're doing? Of course. I'm doing okay. I'm doing this. I've had some struggles. I've had some disappointments, right? But we keep a certain brevity to it so that we're not dumping on her. And in this way, we create an environment where our wives are able to be women and thrive and not have to be mothers to the husbands. Women do not want to be their husband's mother. They don't want to pick them up, pat them on the butt, give them encouragement, and tell them it's going to be okay and kiss their boo-boos and all of these other things. Women want to know that there's someone in the marriage, in the relationship, in their life that is the stabilizing force. And so it is, I say, if you're a man, do not make your spouse your best friend. Be more than that for her. Be there for her in a way where you are able to bring stability and harmony to your life and the family, and she can be the wife and the mother to your children. God bless.